So our next lesson I call Foil Relief Owls. And so it's a drawing lesson, but it's also learning a little bit about creating a relief, which means it has a slightly sculptural feeling to it. It raises off of the paper a little bit. You can see that this example has a texture. So what we're going to do is first we're going to look at owls. And artists usually use a visual reference. So when I'm working on a new piece in the studio and I have an idea, I will gather some visual references so that I am careful to represent what I want realistically, if that's my goal. So what do we see in owls? There's a few basic things that you need to do to send the message to the viewer that you've drawn an owl and not just any other bird. And the first thing that probably you'll notice is the eyes. The eyes always are very big and round, right? They're not football shaped or almond shaped. They're big and round. And the face is usually framed. The eyes are usually framed with a design. And then the beaks are curved, and because it's a bird of prey. And then the bodies are all different. Let's look at another one. So here's a white owl. Notice again, the eyes are very round and the face and eyes are framed right with this shape right here. And then you have the body coming down from there. And they also have big, what are called talons, which are sharp claws, because these are birds that capture little mammals and fish. And so they go down and grab their prey with those big talons. Here's a great picture of an owl in the snow. And what you want to notice here is a couple of unusual things, and that is the horns. This is called a great horned owl. These are just feathers, but they look like horns, so that's why he's called a great horned owl. Big round eyes. The eyes are framed with more circles, and in this case, there's this beautiful V shape that comes down between the eyes. And then their eyes are zoned off, and there's the curved beak, there are the talons, and look at the wonderful designs and textures on this guy. So here is an owl zoomed in, totally different kind of owl. I love this picture. This is also zoned off, so we have the round eyes, and then we have that, the eyes are encased in these zones, these designs. Each one is encased in its own. I love these extra white tufts that are on the right side. Look at the zigzag pattern. There's the curved beak. And in this case, if you were using this as your reference, you'd be just focusing on the face, very zoomed in, which I think is quite a dynamic image, especially since the photographer has the owl's face tipped. That makes it particularly interesting. Here's another zoomed in image of an owl's face. It's so zoomed in that part of it is cut off, but I kind of like that. Like the whole star of the show is just this right side. Actually, it's his left side of his face. Round eye, a zoned off area around, even yet another zoned off area. Looks like it's a horned owl because that looks like a horn coming up. There's that dramatically curved beak and lots of texture and pattern. So one of the things that you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to choose between trying to make your drawing realistic or whether you'd like to stylize it. So the drawing on the left here is quite realistic. That feels almost like a photograph, whereas this little blue owl over here is very stylized. The artist has even put little glasses on him. His eyes are big and round, but they're even more big and round than realistic, right? And he's blue. I guess there might be blue owls in the world, but clearly the artist was giving the sense of owl without a realistic photographic drawing of an owl. Here are some more stylized owls that are really wonderful. And this is the fun of this lesson. Like, you do not need to feel pressure that you're supposed to draw an owl realistically. If that's not your jam, that's okay. You can take artistic license and use the basic formula. If you follow the formula of big round eyes, some kind of zoning around the eyes, a curved pointed beak, and and then these big toes, like I showed you before. You can play around with the rest of it. That's a horned owl, and look, this artist has actually made them look like real horns. Here's a totally different style on the right. Round eyes. Those eyes are a little almond shaped, but look at the large zone around each eye, and even another zone that frames the face. And then there's the pointy beak, there are the talons, and then they've kind of broken up the body into different kinds of patterns and textures, which I love. Here are a few more totally different styles. None of these are photographic. They all feel like they're an artist interpretation of owls. I love the variety of color over here. We're going to stick with just our foil paper that's going to have like a patina on it. But it's always fun to look at what other artists have done. Look at this one. This is totally linear. The whole design is all lines. But there's the formula. Round eyes, pointed beak, and then some kind of a zone that frames the eyes or the face. Same thing here. Round eyes, zones around the eyes. And then they put this terrific checkerboard, these diamond patterns on. So here's a little tutorial on how to draw an owl. I'm going to draw one for you on a quick one on a video. I still have some friends at home, so I want to be sure that you can start this lesson at home. But you can see, here are the steps on how to draw an owl. It's basic shapes: circle, oval, add another oval for the tail. You can add the horns. This owl doesn't have horns, but this one does. Right, curved beak, big round eyes all the way down. See the zones around the eyes? Basic shapes, then details. Here's just the face. Notice you start with a circle. Put a little framework on the circle so that you can place the eyes and the beak exactly in the middle, and the eyes on either side. It really helps. And notice that this artist has shown you can draw this at different angles. Straight on, three-quarter view, full profile and three-quarter view. You can also start with the eyes and then build from there. And this slide shows you how to do that. You draw the circles, you put the zones around them, you add this pointed beak, then you can add the other things and work your way up. And that's a fun way to do it too. Very stylized. And the last two slides are just lots of examples of different owls in different positions, and some of them zoomed in and some of them far away. So that if you want to pick one of these, you can use it as a reference. And so this is where we're headed. It's very stylized and metallic, and you'll learn how to do that in a bit. Thanks for watching, and on we go to learning how to draw owls.